Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture, we will practice some more questions based on definite integrals. In the last session, we had practiced till question number 38. So in this lecture, we will start from question number 39 and we will go till question number 45. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's start with question number 39, which says that we have to find limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 2 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 4 till n to the power 4 upon n to the power 5 minus 1 plus 2 cube plus 3 cube till n cube upon n to the power 5 is equal to. So see, we have to basically evaluate this limit. So what we have to do, we have to first convert this limit into a series, summation series. And after doing summation series, you can take common 1 by n, right? And convert these integrals in the form of 1 by n and r by n, right? And after that, you can assume r by n as x and 1 by n as dx, right? Clear? And limit of integration will be according to the summation, according to the limits of the summation, right? What is lower limit and what is upper limit? Got it? So in this way, we can approach this question. So you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 2 to the power 4 C. Limit is for both. So we can write limit separately, right? Which we can written easily. Limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 2 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 4 till n to the power 4 upon n to the power 5 minus limit n tending to infinity 1 plus 2 cube plus 3 cube till n cube upon n to the power 5, which is equal to limit n tending to infinity. What we have done, we have basically taken 1 by n as common. 1 by n as common. Therefore, it will be equal to summation of r equal to 1 to n r by n to the power 4, r by n to the power 4 minus limit n tending to infinity 1 by n into limit n tending to infinity 1 by n summation of r equal to 1 to n r by n to the power cube, which is equal to integration from 0 to 1 x to the power 4 dx minus limit n tending to infinity 1 by n into integration of 0 to 1 x cube dx. Now see, here n is tending to infinity. So 1 by infinity will be 0. 0 into this integration will be 0. So this part will be 0. And we have to integrate basically this part 0 to 1 x to the power 4 dx, which will be equal to x to the power 5 upon 5. X to the power 5 upon 5. So from 0 to 1 x to the power 5 upon 5 will be 1 by 5. Clear? So the answer of this question will be 1 by 5. Clear? Option D is the right choice. 1 by 5. Got it? Option D is the right choice. Let's move to the next question. Question number 40, which says I is equal to, if I is equal to integration from 0 to pi by 2 dx upon root over 1 plus sine cube x dx, 1 plus sine cube x dx, then we have to find the interval of I. Like I is from which interval to which interval, right? So see, to solve this limit, we can calculate two things, right? We can do two things. First, you can you can convert this equation into a simplified form, so that this equation becomes an integrable form. And next, you can take limit 0 to pi by 2 fx dx is equal to limit 0 to pi by 2 f of pi by 2 minus x dx, right? Pi by 2 minus x dx. Okay. In this way, you try to approach this question. If you have another method in mind, you can apply also that, but answer will not be changed. Okay. So you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part. Since x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, since x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, therefore 1 plus sine cube x will be between 1 to 2. 1 plus sine cube x will be between 1 to 2. Now, since 1 plus sine cube x is between 1 to 2, therefore 1 by root over 1 by 1 plus sine cube x will be between 1 by 2 to 1, and 1 by root over 1 plus sine cube x will be between 1 by root 2 to 1. Now, let's apply limit from 0 to pi by 2 in this inequality. So 0 to pi by 2 1 by root 2 dx will be less than equal to 0 to pi by 2 dx upon root 2 root of sine cube x will be less than equal to 0 to pi by 2 dx, and this term is basically I. This term is I. Therefore, and integration of this will be 1 by 2 root 2 pi by 2 root 2, right? Therefore, pi by 2 root 2 is greater than equal to I, is greater than equal to pi by 2, right? Pi by 2 root 2 is greater than equal to I, is greater than equal to pi by 2. Clear? Therefore, I is greater than equal to I is greater than pi by 2 root 2, right? So option B is the right choice. I is greater than pi by 2 root 2. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question number 41, which says if I is equal to 0 to 1, if I is equal to 0 to 1 sin x upon root x dx and j is equal to 0 to 1 cos x upon root x dx, then which of the following is true? That is, we have to find whether I is greater than 2 by 3 or less than 2 by 3, or j is greater than 2 or less than 2, right? Like that. Okay. So what we have to do, see, first we can compare the value of sin x and cos x when x belongs to 0 to 1, right? We can see whether sin x is greater or cos x is greater. After that, we will apply root x and we can integrate from 0 to 1, right? So in this way, you can try to solve this question or try to apply this concept. Okay, so you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Since I is equal to 0 to 1, sin x upon root x dx is less than 0 to 1 x upon root x dx, right? X upon root x dx, right? Because from x equal to 0 to 1, from 0 to 1, x is basically greater than sin x, right? X is greater than sin x. Because in x belongs to 0 to 1, x is greater than sin x. Therefore, this term is basically I. Therefore, I will be less than 0 to 1 root x dx, right? Which is equal to 2 by 3 x to the power 3 by 2, 0 to 1. Therefore, I will be less than 2 by 3. And j, let's calculate j. So from 0 to 1, cos x is basically less than 1. From 0 to 1, cos x is basically less than 1, right? Therefore, j is equal to 0 to 1 cos x upon root x dx is less than 0 to 1 1 by root x. So which is equal to 0 to 1 x to the power minus 1 by 2 dx is equal to 2 into x to the power 1 by 2 0 to 1. So when we will put the limit from 0 to 1, you will get this 0 to 1 1 by root x as 2. Therefore, j is less than 2. Clear? Therefore, I will be less than 2 by 3 and j is basically less than 2. Right. So option C is the right choice. I is less than 2 by 3 and j is less than 2. Okay. Let's move to the next question, question number 42, which says that statement 1 says that integration from 0 to 2 fx dx is basically 4 root 2 minus 1 upon 3, where fx is x square for x 0 to 1 and root x for x 1 to 2. Statement 2, fx is continuous in 0 to 1, right? So which option is correct? Clear? Whether statement 1 is correct or 2 is correct or it is correct explanation of 1 or not, we have to discuss about that, right? So see, the hint of this question is we are given fx as a piecewise function, right? In different intervals. That is, when x is between 0 to 1, fx is x square, and when x is basically between 1 to 2, then fx is root x. And we have to find integration of fx from 0 to 2. So what we will do? We will do x square dx from 0 to 1 plus integration of x square dx from 0 to 1 plus integration of root x dx from 1 to 2, right? You have to apply that method. Then you can easily find the value of integration of fx dx from 0 to 2. Clear? Okay, you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As we have discussed, since fx is continuous in 0 to 2, therefore 0 to 2 fx dx can be written as 0 to 1 fx dx plus 1 to 2 fx dx, right? Therefore 0 to 1 fx 0 to 1, see, from 0 to 1 fx is basically x square, right? So from 0 to 1 x square dx and plus from 1 to 2 root x dx, right? Therefore uh, we can write integration of x square dx is x cube by 3 0 to 1 plus integration of root x dx is basically x to the power 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 1 to 2, right? So it is equal to 1 by 3, it is equal to 1 by 3 plus 2 by 3 2 to the power 3 by 2 minus 1 after putting the limits, different limits, that is here we have to put limit from 0 to 1, here we have to put limit from 1 to 2, right? So after putting the limits you will get this integration 1 to 0 to 2 as 1 by 3 plus 4 root 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3, which after solving you will get 4 root 2 minus 1 by 3, which is not matching with this one, right? Because this is basically 4 root 2 minus 4 by 3 and this is 4 root 2 minus 1 by 3, right? Therefore statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is true because fx is continuous in 0 to fx is continuous in 0 to 2, right? Continuous in 0 to 2. Okay, so I think option D is right choice. Statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true, right? Statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 43. It is again statement type question, assertion and reason. Statement 1 says that the value of integral pi by 6 to pi by 3 dx upon 1 plus root over 10x is basically pi by 6. And statement 2 says that integration of a to b fx dx is equal to a to b f of a plus b minus x dx, right? So from the observation or like from the first view, you can easily say that statement 2 is right because it is the statement of definite integral, right? And we have to check whether statement 1 is true or not, or statement 2 is correct explanation of statement 1 or not, right? So see what we have to apply. See, we will try to apply this formula in this statement 1 and we will see whether pi by 6 is coming or not. Okay, so in this way you can try to apply this question. Okay, so you have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Let I is equal to pi by 6 to pi by 3 dx upon 1 plus root over 10x. Question 1. Therefore, I is equal to integration of pi by 6 to pi by 3 dx upon 1 plus root over 10 c root over 10 pi by 2 minus x, right? Because I can be written as uh, pi by 6 to pi by 3 integration of f of uh, pi by 3 plus pi by 6 minus x, that is pi by 2 minus x. So on addition we have equation 1 and equation 2, right? On adding equation 1 and equation 2 we get, on adding equation 1 and equation 2 we get 2i is equal to integration from pi by 6 to pi by 3 dx. Therefore 2i is equal to x. Integration of dx is x is from pi by 3 to pi by 6 to pi by 3. Pi by 6 to pi by 3, right? Pi by 6 to pi by 3. Therefore I will be equal to 1 by 2. Clear? Therefore I will be equal to 1 by 2 pi by 3 minus pi by 6, and after solving this you will get I is equal to pi by 12. So but here in this statement it is asking, it is saying that it is pi by 6, hence statement 1 is false. But this integration of a to b fx dx is equal to a to b f of a plus b minus x dx is true. True statement by property of definite integrals, right? Therefore option D is the right choice. Option D is the right choice. Statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 44, which says, again we have two statements. In statement 1 it says, if integration of 0 to 1 e to the power sin x dx is equal to lambda, then integration of 0 to 200 e to the power sin x dx is equal to 200 lambda or not. And statement 2 says that if integration from 0 to na fx dx is n times 0 to a fx dx, where n belongs to I, and f of it is true when f of a plus x is equal to f of x, right? F of a plus x is equal to f of x. So we have to check whether this statement is true or false, or statement 2 is correct explanation of statement 1 or not. So see, by the first view, we can see that it is looking correct, but you will have to check whether this condition is following or not. If this condition is following, then only this statement 1 is true. And if this condition is not following, then directly writing this will not be valid, right? Directly writing this only will not be valid, right? We have to match this statement also. Okay. So in this way, you can apply this question. You can try to solve this question. You have 10 seconds to solve or think about this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. Since period of e to the power sin x is 2 pi, right? Period of e to the power sin x is 2 pi. Therefore, e to the power 200 sin e to the power sin e to the power 200 e to the power sin 0 to 200 0 to 200 e to the power sin x dx not equal to 200 pi, because the above statement will be this statement will be true when the period of fx equal to e to the power sin x is 1. When period is 1, because see, 0 to na fx dx is the n times 0 to a. Here a is basically 1. Here a is 1. Right? A is 1 because a is 1. Clear? And n is 200. Right? N is 200. So the statement will be true when period will be 1. The period of e to the power sin x is 1. But the period of e to the power sin x is 2 pi. Clear? Hence statement 1 is false. Clear? That's why I told you to check this condition, right? Clear? Check this condition. But this condition is not valid here because f of 1 plus x is not equal to f of x given, right? Got it? F of 2 pi plus x is equal to fx. It is true for this, right? Because period of e to the power sin x is 2 pi. But but f of 1 plus x is equal to f of x is not true, right? Therefore, statement 1 is false, but statement 2 is correct. Statement 2 is correct because in this statement 2, this option, this condition is also valid, right? So I think option D is again right choice. Okay, D is right choice. Got it? D is right choice. Okay, so let's move to the next question, question number 45, which is again two statements are given. So in statement 1, it says that integration of 0 to 1 e to the power minus x cos square x dx is less than 0 to 1 e to the power minus x square cos square x dx. Statement 2 says that integration of a to b fx dx is less than integration of a to b gx dx for all xx less than gx. We have to check whether statement 2 1 is true or statement 2 is true, right? Okay, so you can try to approach this question. See, since x is from 0 to 1, then we can check x is from 0 to 1, then x square will be less than x square will be less than x, and minus of x square will be greater than x. Minus of x square will be greater than x. So e to the power minus x, e to the power minus x square will be greater than e to the power minus x, right? So in this way, you try to approach this question. In this way, you try to approach this question and see whether the two statements is right or not. So you have 10 seconds to solve this question. After 10 seconds, we will discuss the solution. Okay, let's move to the solution part C. As x is from 0 to 1, therefore x is greater than x square, right? X is between 0 to 1, therefore x is greater than x square, as we have discussed. Therefore, minus x will be less than, minus x will be less than minus x square. Therefore, e to the power minus x will be less than e to the power minus x. So, integration of 0 to 1 e to the power minus x cos square x dx will be less than 0 to 1 e to the power minus x square cos square x dx. So, if fx is greater than equal to gx, then integration of a to b fx dx will be greater than equal to integration of a to b gx dx. Clear? Therefore, statement 1 is true and statement 2 is true, right? 2 is also true. And statement 2 is correct explanation of statement 1, right? Statement 2 is correct explanation of statement 1, right? Therefore, Option A is the right choice. Fine. Clear? So in this way, we have discussed a lot of different types of questions based on definite integrals. Hope you understood the concepts, how to apply the concepts in the questions, right? The theory portion which we have studied. Hope you understood how to apply that theory portion in the questions, different types of questions, and hope you liked the lecture. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you.